Everyone was standing in front of the emergency room. Jason and Hansel were undergoing surgery. Wayne came running to the hospital and saw everyone sitting there. Josie was crying, holding on to Jungkook, and Jungkook was crying too. The entire family was in tears. Just as Wyon was about to say something, the doctor came out of the room. Everyone surrounded him. They all asked, "How are Jason and Hansel? Are they okay?" The doctor lowered his head. "Doctor, I'm sorry we could not save Hansel. Jason's condition is very critical. We don't know if he will survive." Hearing this, everyone broke into tears. Jungkook ran towards Hansel, with the rest of the family following behind. Wayne was about to go inside when a nurse arrived and asked, "Who is here for Jason?" Seeing no one was there, Wayne replied, "I am. Nurse, the patient has regained consciousness, but there isn't much time left. You may go in to see him." Hearing that, Wyan rushed inside. The atmosphere was heavy, as if time had frozen. It felt like everything should stop and start over anew. Wyan slowly walked forward, but her legs seemed unwilling to move, as though heavy stones were tied to her feet. When Wyan reached Jason, she saw him looking at her with an oxygen mask on. Jason noticed her and signaled her to remove the mask. Wyan hesitated, but at his insistence she removed it. Jason could barely make a sound. He slowly tried to speak, gave a faint smile, and said, "How are you, Wyan? That's what I should be asking you." "Jason, don't cry. Maybe my time is up. I tried so hard to stay with you all life, but I didn't know my life would be so short." Hearing this, Wyan broke down in sobs. Jason gently touched her cheek. "Jason, a smile suits your face more than tears. I wanted to see your child, to play with them, to raise them with you. I don't know if our baby will ever know me." Saying this, Jason slowly tried to reach out towards Wyan's belly. Seeing that, Wyan held his hand and placed it on her belly. Jason whispered, "I'm sorry I could not meet you. I could not hold you or teach you how to walk. But I love you very much. Always treat your mother well. Never hurt her." Suddenly, Wyan realized Jason wasn't speaking anymore. The life supporter machine made a slow beeping sound. She looked at him. His eyes were closed. His body had gone completely still. Wyan held Jason tightly and burst into loud cries. Everything was completely silent. Heavy rain was pouring all around. Everyone was standing still. Jungkook sat in the rain, soaked, staring at Hansel's grave. Wyan was standing too, silent, not a word on her lips, not a single tear in her eyes, as if she had turned to stone. One by one, people started to leave. Only their family remained standing, all of them together. It took great effort to bring Wyan and Jungkook back home. 2 weeks later, Wyan doesn't leave her room. She sits quietly in a corner. She doesn't eat or doesn't talk to anyone. Seeing her mental state, her parents become extremely worried. On the other hand, the situation in Jungkook's house is the same. Considering the situation on both sides, both parents decided to meet each other. Jungkook's mom: "I have lost one of my sons, but a part of him still lives in Wyan's womb. I wanted to make Wyan my daughter-in-law. Even now, I want to bring her into our home." Saying this, Jungkook's mother breaks into tears. Jungkook's dad: "We have made a decision. If you all agree, we would like to arrange a marriage between Jungkook and Wyan. That way, Wyan doesn't have to raise Jason's child alone, and Jungkook and Josie will both have someone to look after them." Jungkook's mom: "Jungkook sits alone in his room all day and doesn't speak to anyone. Even when Josie goes to him, he doesn't talk to her. He is completely shut down. Josie has been all alone crying since her mother left, and she cries all the time. Wine's mom, Wine also stays quiet all the time. She can't continue like this. She needs a companion. She can't raise a child alone like this. Wine's mom is also crying. Wine's dad, then if we arrange their marriage, maybe gradually everything will return to normal. Perhaps they won't accept it at first, but at this point there is no other way. Jungkook's parents, then we will talk to Jungkook. You convince your daughter. With that, Wine's parents left Jungkook's house. Wine's parents and Jungkook's parents, after much difficulty, finally convinced them to agree to the marriage. At last, the wedding day arrived. Lights glimmered all around as if it were a dream, just like the wedding of a princess. One stood there with a bright red wedding dress. Everything had been arranged just the way she had always dreamed. Red roses, her favorite, adored the decoration. The lights were set exactly the way she had imagined. Jason had paid attention to all her wishes. He had planned it all before he passed away. Today everything was there except for Jason. In Jason's place stood Jungkook. Wine's eyes shimmered with tears. Suddenly she felt someone holding her hand. She turned to see her father gently grasping it. He led her to the wedding stage. There she saw Jungkook standing and waiting for her. His eyes were completely still, unreadable. One felt a wave of fear seeing him, but she said nothing because there was nothing left to say. She glanced to the side and saw Josie in a bridesmaid dress. Josie was beaming with joy. She grabbed Wine's hand in excitement. Wine didn't say a word. She just held Josie's hand back. Wine's father stood with them in front of Jungkook and placed Wine's hand into his. Wine's dad, take care of my daughter. I place her responsibility in your hands. Don't hurt her. Remember, she is a victim of circumstances. Jungkook said nothing, just stood silently. The priest came forward and began the ceremony. Priest, do you, John Jungkook, take Min Wine as your lawful wife to be with her in happiness and sorrow through all ups and downs? Jungkook remained silent. After a moment, he softly said, yes, I do. Priest, do you mean Wine take Jeon Jungkook as your lawful husband to be with him in happiness and sorrow through all challenges? Tears rolled down Wine's cheek. She didn't want to speak. Josie gently urged her to say something. With no other choice, Wine whispered, yes, I do. Priest, now exchange the rings. Jungkook and Wine exchanged rings. Priest, now you may kiss the bride. Wine's hand and feet began to feel cold. Suddenly Jungkook took her hand and kissed it gently. The wedding was over. Wine saw Jisoo crying. Jisoo hugged Wine tightly. Jisoo, don't cry, don't worry about anything. You have to think about the future now. Jason may be gone, but you will reach his child. Don't ever make any reckless decisions. Hearing Jisoo's word, Wine broke down and hugged her tightly. Everyone sat down to eat. Jungkook and Wine sat side by side. Everyone tried to act as if things were normal in front of them, but only they knew what they were truly going through. After the meal, Wine's parents tearfully bade her farewell. Jungkook said nothing. He just quietly watched everything unfold. Everyone had returned home. Jungkook went straight to his room as usual. Wan stood there, unsure of what to do. Jungkook's mom came to her. Jungkook's mom, there was a separate room for you. I have tried to convince Jungkook many times, but he doesn't want you in his room. Go freshen up. I will send someone to you. Wan went to the room freshen up. When she came out of the washroom, she saw Josie standing there. Wan tried to act normal in front of her. Later that night, Jungkook's mother sent dinner to Wan's room. Wan ate, and after a while she lay down to rest. Suddenly there was a knock on her door. Wan opened it and saw Josie standing there. Josie, I want to sleep with you tonight. Wan let her in. Josie walked over and sat on the bed. Unable to hold back her curiosity, Wan asked, Wan, why don't you hate me? You are supposed to hate me. I married your father. Josie, I could have hated you, but my grandma told me uncle passed away. You have my little brother or sister in your tummy. You can't raise them alone. I don't have a mother either, only my dad, but now even he doesn't talk to me. While listening her words silently, Josie, my grandma told me that when my little brother or sister comes home, I will get to play with them all the time and you will take care of me and dad. That's why I agreed. Wine realized Josie was very intelligent. She understood far more than kids her age usually do. She hugged her tightly and thought to herself, Hanseol is gone, but she won't let her child to be motherless. Wine lay down with Josie. Josie soon fell asleep. Wine looked at her and noticed how much she looked like Hanseol. Memories of Hanseol came flooding back. Tears down her cheeks. Eventually, she too drifted off to sleep. 2 months passed, and during this time many things had changed. Jungkook had slowly started behaving normally again. Wine too was beginning to return to her usual self. However, the communication between them remained minimal. Meanwhile, a strong bond had developed between Josie and Wayne. Wayne now attended university and went to her classes regularly, but due to her pregnancy, moving around had become a bit difficult to her. One day, Wine and Josie were sitting on the sofa chatting. When Wine suddenly said, I am really craving something sour, but there was no pickle in the house. Jungkook was walking there and overheard her. Later that night, as Wine was heading to her room, Jungkook handed her a jar of pickle. Wine was startled and a bit surprised. She looked at Jungkook, but he didn't say anything and simply walked away. Wine went into her room and saw that Josie had already fallen asleep. She looked at the jar of pickles in her hand and thought to herself that Jungkook had started noticing the little things. A few days ago, while she was walking in the kitchen, she had almost slipped because of some spilled water, but Jungkook had caught her just in time. Shortly after that, he told all the house staff to thoroughly clean the entire place. Wan started noticing these little things and realized no matter how tough Jungkook appeared on the outside, he was actually quite soft-hearted on the inside. A few days later, Josie's preschool admission was coming up and both parents were required to be present. Wan wondered if Jungkook would take her with him. Thinking about all this, Wan lay down beside Josie and hugging Jason's photo to her chest, slowly drifted off to sleep. Today Wine went to university. As she was walking down the corridor, she overheard a few girls from her class talking. Susie, did you hear Professor Jungkook's wife passed away? Jessica, yes, I heard that too. Apparently he also has a little daughter. Susie, I had a crush on him for a long time, but when I found out he was married and had a daughter, I backed off. Jennifer, you should go for it now. He doesn't have anyone anymore. Maybe he will fall for you. Susie, exactly what I could not do before, maybe I can now. No one will stop me. I just need to win over his daughter too. The other two chimed in absolutely, and they all started laughing. Wine heard everything. It wasn't new. These girls often talk about boys this way, but for some reason this time it doesn't sit right with her. Their words felt serious and they bothered her. Wine entered the classroom. When Jungkook was teaching, she noticed one of these girls was staring at him throughout the class. Wine wanted to say something, but she could not because after all, she and Jungkook didn't really have that kind of relationship yet. After class, Jungkook called Wine to his office. Wine entered his cabin. Jungkook, we will leave in a little while. The principal called about Jose's admission. Wine, all right. A short while later, Wine and Jungkook headed out to meet the principal. Meanwhile, Suzy saw them leaving together in the same car. Suzy, why did Wine go with Mr. Jeon in the same car? Wine and Jungkook entered the principal's office and spoke with him. He showed them around the school. After completing Jose's admission, they returned home. When they got home, Wine saw Josie playing. The moment she saw them, she ran over and hugged them tightly. Jungkook, we completed your admission. You will start school tomorrow. Josie was happy and started jumping and clapping in excitement. Seeing her happiness, both Wine and Jungkook smiled. Morning arrived and Wine got Josie ready for school. It was Josie's first day and she was extremely excited. Both Jungkook and Wine were ready as well. After dropping Josie off at school, they would head to the university together. They dropped Josie off at school. She was very happy and eagerly went into her classroom. Wine got out of the car first and entered the classroom. Jungkook followed shortly after. Once class ended, Jungkook left, but they didn't realize that Suzy had seen them together that day. Later, when everyone was leaving for home, Suzy blocked Wine's path. Suzy, what is your relationship with Professor Jungkook? Wine, nothing. Suzy, don't lie. I saw you with him. Wine, I'm not lying. Suzy, so what? Are you saying I'm lying? Jessica, Susie's definitely not lying. If she say she saw you too, then she did. She is telling the truth. Why? I don't feel comfortable talking about this. Saying this, Wine tried to walk away. Just as she was about to go down the stairs, Suzy grabbed her arm. Jisoo, who was walking there when she saw this, ran over immediately. Jisoo, what's going on? Why are you holding her like that? Let her go. Suzy, it's our business. You don't need to interfere. Jisoo got angry at that response. She tried to free Wine's hand. Jennifer then grabbed Jisoo and forcefully pulled her away. Wine tried to pull her hand free from Suzy's grip. At that moment, her hand slipped and she fell down the stairs. She screamed in pain as she hit the ground, holding her stomach. Suzy and her friends panicked and ran away. Jisoo ran to Wine's side and all the noise drew a crowd of students. Teachers arrived soon after. When Jungkook saw Wine's condition, he rushed over and lifted her into his arms. Everyone stood in shock. Professor Jungkook never seemed to like Wayne. He always scolded her. Seeing him react this way made people question everything. As Jungkook started walking towards his car with Wayne in his arms, he noticed she was no longer making any sound. He looked down and saw that her eyes were closed and blood was trickling down from her head. Jungkook, Wayne.